Hey guys, welcome to the show. How y'all doing today? What's going on? It's me, it's here, it's hype, it's happening. Here we are. Wanted to get this out to you. Welcome to today's show. It's Wednesday. It's UTC time, 1200. We're acknowledging that. It used to be GMT time. Do you realize how hard it is for me to not call it GMT time after having been in Greenwich Mean Time for so long? Wanted to make it a little bit more universal for the world to recognize, and we're learning as we go along, and you're joining us, and that's where we're at right now. So yeah, it's that part of the show where we're learning and stuff. And okay, ironically enough, it's the right time and everything. But what I wanted to say about that though was the channel's heading in a new direction, man. We've got some shows, we got a lineup, we got some big plans now. Like, okay, we took you along for a ride before, and I just want to do. I'm sorry, it's kind of boring, but I wanted to do a quick breakdown so you know what to expect. I put it up in there in the details of the channel, like the about page, but I'm going to have y'all stick around for this. So basically what we're going to do is, there's going to be, for right now, there's going to be 4 major shows. There'll be this one, which will be Paper Aircraft Weekly. It's still going to be considered the flagship show, even though we're not a talk or a call-in or chat, whatever. It may come back to that format as it needs to, but it's not going to stay that way. The primary is going to be how we're doing it. So you're not going to know, you won't notice too much of a change until you see us go live once in a while and be like, hey, what the hell is this? And we'll try to keep you apprised of when the live shows are upcoming as they happen. But that's also part of this. Sorry, I'm umming a lot. I didn't script this out as well as I thought. I just got news, so I'm a little excited to get it out. So Paper Aircraft Weekly, the primary show, we'll still consider it the flagship. It's going to be on here. Obviously, we're going to try to stay on topic, try to talk to you about some things. It's not going to be, typically, of course, it's not going to be on a chat, so it's not going to be live. We're going to keep it the way it is. Sorry about that. But this is the way, because we have plans. Trust me, we've got plans. So anyway, Tech Talk. The other show, it's not changing. Basically all the shows that we have planned will be live as needed. Mostly, I think they're going to stay recorded, just so there's a little less distraction, a little less lag, a little less interference. Plus, we can do editing. It's better this way, trust me. Yeah. Those of y'all that have actually been around for, through with us for all these years, sometimes the rants could get a little ranty, and we're trying to avoid that. But that's another reason why we're having this channel of shows. We've got to, kind of created this up. So anyway, again, you saw Tech Talk live. We did that before. We're going to do it again. But again, all these shows will be live as needed, as seen fit. It may not always be the proper time. I don't know when. Trust me, they'll be late unless they're going to be on weekends or days off when they match up with people's schedules. Seriously, we're trying to work that crap. Anywho, Tech Talk. Obviously, we're around for the live ones, and we call them that because we didn't have the title. Now we have a title. Tech Talk will still exist, of course, and it will literally be quick old blurbs on trying to get you some tech. I'd like to stick back to that. I mean, we called the other ones that, and I may actually really cycle back and re-edit those previous ones so they don't get called Tech Talk, even though they are Tech Talk, because it's what they are, but I really feel like I want to stick to the parameters of my initial idea, which means Tech Talk was going to be short. So look out for that. Okay, the two new, and yet not, we're going to have an Inside IVPAC show, which is basically going to be strictly, it'll probably be another blur, but strictly dedicated to stuff goings on inside IVPAC. instead of having to worry about telling you these situations where we're having anniversaries, we have a rollout, we've got a retirement, so on and so forth. Obviously, we want the contractors to stick their plans of like how to builds and retirements and anniversaries and so on and so forth on their own channels. I was thinking about actually having a contractor show on here, but then it's like, well, then our individual channels for the contractors are totally not needed, so we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is just have inside IVPAC. It'll be a quick rundown, news blurb, kind of like strictly news of what's going on when, like, aircraft change places, new bases get opened up, bases close. Literally, it'll be quick blurbs on the spot, and you'll see those. And that probably will never be live unless it turns into something bigger than it is. I don't see exactly what that can be. And, I mean, it can. Like I said, I'd like to think that any one of these shows obviously can go live if need be. But that's the one I really suspect will not be most of the time. I mean, chances are Tech Talk might not be. However, I will welcome the comments. So, again, like, don't think we're trying to take away from the live shows. You're still going to get those in the guise of what we're going to call paper planes and more. I'm kind of visualizing dealing with these rants that we always deal with. Okay, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to write it out, and we're going to see what happens. So basically what I'm going to do is you're going to come along on these times when we rant. And you're going to come along when we talk planes, because it will still be a plane show. Ideally, trying to be with planes, but these rants, hopefully they won't overtake us, but we'll actually, obviously because we've been leaving them in, we'll leave them in, and this way, it's all-encompassing. I just, like, you know, sometimes you've seen some of our members get off on a tangent or 3 or 8, depending on the situation in life, or in sports, or in history, or in geopolitical theaters and stuff, and we're having some issues with that right now. But in the meantime, we're going to focus on that, but we're, like, obviously we're a paper plane channel, we're a paper aircraft industry, and we hope to be your hub and continue to do so, but I just want to make it easily accessible, and I don't want to change it too much. So one of the things that you may notice if you really delve deep into our channel is the channel titles are going to, I think I may retro this and go back through, and all of our previous works are going to be called these new ones. So they're going to be new to you as of today, Tuesday, Tuesday. And it's hard. I know it's a little bit sappy, and I'm going to get off topic in a second. It's a little bit sappy, but it's kind of amazing to think of. This will be the last kind of any kind of numerical synchrony that anybody alive will see. You know, 2/22/22, and at 10/22, those of y'all on the East Coast, it happened, but I'm on Central U.S. time. For the rest of the world, you already had it, but it's that one time, and again, this will probably be the last numerical synchrony any of us will see. So it's slightly exciting. So I'm sorry. I just, like, you know, if you were around some of the, you know, January 2nd, or excuse me, I shouldn't say that. It'd be, what the hell would it have been? Stick with me, people. January 1st, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, January 1st or January 11th, 2011, and next year, we can't see anything still. Damn. I'm trying to think of, you know what I mean? No, but all those year and dates that kind of, like, gone inside there, like July, fudge sickles, I'm missing is June 7th of 1989, for example. You know, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, stuff like that. So I know, sappy, I'm sorry, but if you remembered it, if you didn't remember it, whatever. But in any case, that's what I'm referring to. So anyway, so basically what I'm saying, Paper Aircraft Weekly will stick around. It's going to be this, occasionally live, mostly pre-recorded Wednesday shows at 12 UTC. Inside IVPAC, our exclusive IVPAC news show, It could be at any time, not a regularly scheduled program, but when things happen, I'd like to make it kind of a weekly thing, but I mean, if nothing weekly happens, it may not show up. I'm going to try to do one or two here in the not so distant future, so that you can get a feel of what to expect out of that show. Tech Talk, you've seen a couple, including a live version of it. That was kind of goofy. It did illustrate the text, but it took us a couple hours and basically turned into another one of these shows. We'll change that back too. So, Tech Talk, again, can be live, can be short, can be long, whatever. Keep in mind, all these shows are going to be like that. But then also, Paper Planes and More. That's going to be the Thursday evening live chat-in show primarily. Yeah, we're going to try to keep that one the way you've been used to seeing Paper Aircraft Weekly. But since we're turning over a new leaf, we're getting over a new guys, all this stuff, Wednesday's show, this show is going to technically be, we're going to strictly keep it on IVPACs or Paper Planes, and probably a little shorter in duration, and just like this. Just be ready to expect live shows from time to time, just not all the time. So, anywho, it just depends on actually when it gets booted down for you. So those 4 shows are coming to the channel. Any others? I'm thinking about a spotlight show, like a feature show, and we feature like something, a base, a contractor, a plane, what have you. That also can obviously be for individual contractors on their channels, and I highly recommend any member who's been on, part of us, has a contractor channel, you stick with it, do what you feel you need to, but I would like to, I think that's also a possibility, so we have a 5th show. That one is going to be intriguing at the very least, so stick with us on that one, because I have visions that I don't think I'm going to be able to actually accomplish with it, but it's coming. So anyway, that's the big channel news. Can't believe it took us this long to figure this out. Mark, if you're listening, be ready. Hoping to talk to him. He'll be back. He's just trying to get his heat working, and he's had some problems, and you've heard about his problems in the recent past, and they've only not gotten better. So you see what I did there? They've only not gotten better. So getting into the plane talk a little bit, and stick with our programs. How y'all doing at flying? Any more successful than us? My God, people, like, being up here is horrible. I love it up here and I hate it up here. If you had to fly, I need my days. Oh man, I need to be able to look into the weather future and just decide, like, okay, look, I can fly this day. I'm going to fly this day, and I'm taking days off. So that's what keeps flights out of there, because seriously, by the time I get home, it's dark. And when I'm at work, it's just too damn windy or wet lately. In some way, shape, or form, to be able to fly without just losing the plane outright. And believe me, I'm like so close. I'm like really close to the point where I'm just considering, like, I don't even care. I think I'm just going to, like, if it dies, it dies, as long as I get you some flights. Because I really need to get some flights in. I really, that's what's crucial. I envy you guys that still can fly in relatively decent weather. Or times, just times, So, but it's coming. Just like I showed you that there's videos still could be uploaded. I've uploaded the last one. There'll be a couple others. I've got to switch them around, do some things, but you'll see a couple others you haven't seen. On that note also, what are we flying? You guys that are actually getting a chance to, I've actually taken this one out briefly, and this one flies inside. This is the one you all saw me build. It's got that spider swoop, which is basically the a reverse angle on it. It's higher up here than it is back here. The spider slant, excuse me. The Banshee. This sucks. There's no other pretty way to say it. This plane sucks. I couldn't tell you exactly why it sucks. Actually, yes, I can. It's really that spider slant. It doesn't like it. It's one of the planes I hadn't put a spider slant on, so I gave it a shot. It's got some of the, like, okay, it's a little bit different tech. It doesn't have a tailplane, and I cut the rudder. Perhaps I shouldn't have done that. I don't think that's really holding it against it, but it could be the lack of folding. It's built the same way a Type 3 typically is, or a Type 3. Yeah, it's built the same way a Type 3 is, but this spider slant, I think, is what's doing it in, and yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It goes good as long as there's a takeoff boost. And then it literally flutters around its nose on down to the ground. So it sucks. So that's what I was flying. My test lights, I didn't even need to take it outside to figure out that it sucked. I mean, they look cool, but Banshees have always looked kind of cool. No, that's not true. Banshees really come into their own with Type 3, but this sucks. I don't know if it's recoverable. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do that. We're gonna make it recoverable. We're gonna see if I can recover this plane while I'm on the show with you, because you're here, you're watching, you're live. No, I can't rubber band launch this thing. I'm gonna get this out there right now. No, I'm not trying to pick on anybody. You most likely powerhouse. I can't do it. It's too weak, and it's too short a flight. It's not worth it for me to transition this thing to a rubber band launch. Even if I did, what am I going to do? Watch it stunt really fast and dive into the ground? I mean, I get it with an interceptor. I get it with a Striker, but this is just not the type of plane that needs that. So, but I'm going to try to recover it, see what we have here. So I'm going to probably base it off of, but while I'm doing it, I'm trying to base it off this back here and just keep it straight. What are we flying, guys? What are y'all working on? What are y'all working on out there? Is there anything exciting or anything y'all want to tell us about? I know this ain't live, so it's kind of goofy, but put it in there in the chat. You got a plane that you like really working, and hey, if you got a video, link to it. Abby, I'm sorry. I'm really thinking the how to builds are really going to probably be left to the contractors on their own channels. You might see, I think we may reserve like our retired or classics for the shows on the channel, but don't expect to see too many how to builds on here. I really want them to be stuck with the contractors. And I know I've promised you this a long time, and I am sorry. I truly am sorry, but you will get them. It's not like I've forgotten. It's just life, dude, and other things. Actually, it's more than that. It's just trying to figure out how in the hell I want the damn things to translate out to you guys properly. That's basically it. That's my problem. It's like I want to make sure I give you guys appropriate shows. I don't want to just like throw something out there that like sucks. And I mean, like, we've got good ideas. So, yeah. So what are you guys flying? Anything good? Anything testing out there? Anything noteworthy? Feel free, talk about it. Let us know. Post a video. We seem to love those. People love those. Obviously love how to builds. And I can't say this, okay? I know it's been forthcoming. I know I've been kind of like putting it off and all that crap. But for real, when you get my how to builds, you're going to get a plethora of them. It's not just going to be one, because once I have it set, I'm hoping to have it kind of like in a template where I can just modify, like, you know, like something like this. I can just modify it on the fly, and you'll probably get one once a week for a little while to shut you guys up. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, like, seriously, I know I want to get them out. Don't get me wrong. It's not that. I want to get them out. But I want to, and in some cases, I want you to be along for the how to builds, like anything that comes across. So there's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, like I said, just be on the lookout for that, because again, you'll be surprised. I've got those 2 up, 3 up, 4 up. We've got others that are up there. Again, you kind of have to delve into the show, but they are there. There's going to be more. That's the key. And again, when I get it right, and I've got a feeling also NASA's is the same way. When he gets it right, there'll be a mess of them. So just be ready. You'll be surprised at how many come out. And I'm only saying that also because we should be pretty close to getting you these shows. In the meantime, I think I have recovered. The other thing I was mentioning there that you see in the topics is like, okay, kind of want to know what you're flying. Like I said, I'm currently flying this tested Banshee here. Yeah, see? Look at that. It's the sweep. Okay, so I took out the slant. Now it flies like a plane. Now it flies almost... Can you believe this plane? It's come as far as I can now consider this plane. Like, I think this one, I know it shouldn't actually have that staple in the nose. I may end up taking that out. But, I mean, if it's to be believed, this thing just threw itself out there like an interceptor. Definitely not what Banshee is supposed to be doing. I don't think it's going to have the range to compete, nor would I obviously want it to. I'm not thinking like, oh yeah, Javelin's brand new replacement is a 20-year-old Banshee. Not going that route, folks. Not ever going that route. But it's just, it was kind of what we were going along the lines of talking about before when I had mentioned something along, if you were following along, where I said, like, you don't know, you could change any plane into anything if you stick with it. And sometimes it's doubtful, other times it's surprising. This was the surprising part. And you know, like I said, also one of the things that catches you by surprise is enlargement or shrinking of the plane that you might have. I mean, a simple enlarging of a certain plane that you have may change its flight plan entirely. The simple mods we discussed last week, or a simple shrinking. So, and you'll get the exact same plane, is making it out of a bigger sheet of paper or smaller sheet of paper, turns it into a different aircraft. So, keep on the lookout for that. So anyway, yeah, this is, so now I don't have the that spider-like slant, and now, oh wait, it might still be fluttering. If it's fluttering, this plane's fluttering, it's got to be the staple, because the center of gravity is way, way off. So, let's modify it even further. So anyway, so what you flying? What to fly? I kind of wanted a little bit further onto that. I was actually going to delve upon that too. Is what to fly is basically, I was going to say, basically what kind of weather you're dealing with, because we didn't really talk about it. Also, like how we mentioned, like us here, I can't fly when it's windy. I can't fly when it's rainy. I mean, I can fly when it's rainy. I've got some planes that will make it out there when it rains. I remember looking back on some of our older flight shows, and you may remember Powerhouse, how you were mentioning, I just might have some planes that'll beat them. Like I could go out in the rain. I've always been able to go out in the rain. I've been able to go out in the rain since 1993. Those are like my silver bullets, though. I don't have a tendency to fly those often, nor do I have a tendency to build those often, because they're expensive. I was just pointing that out because these planes that we talk about, you could fly that. You could fly something like your Interceptor if you're so inclined every time it's windy, because, well, what does it matter too much to an Interceptor that it goes straight, and if you throw it horizontally, of course, it's just going to go straight for a slightly longer distance if the wind is behind it, or shorter distance if the wind is in front of it, and that's really going to be it. You throw it up, it's basically just going to land in a different spot than it normally would. Instead of like 10 feet in front of you, it might land like 30 feet in front of you. So Interceptors could probably fly at any time. Something like this may not get affected. Like if you have a short range plane, obviously it may not get affected, or it may not get affected in a way you would expect, such that it would fly and just twist around and end up further away from you than it would be. But it's still going to maintain the type of flight profile you have. It's just going to have a longer range because it's fluttering around. Jesus Christ, this thing sucks. Okay, so I recovered it. Now I lost it. I'm beginning to wonder exactly what it is about this plane that actually sucks. I don't know what made it. I don't know. What is causing this plane to be so horrible? What did I do, man? What did I do? Sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to experiment, so I took out the top platforms there. They're not like droppy. Well, that one is. So I'm not gonna longhorn it. They're gonna stay up like that. Tails are a little bit flatter. That might have something to do with it then. That little upraise, I would call it a canard, but it's not technically a canard. I don't know what name, like this never happens in real paper airplanes, so there's not really a good name for it. And I don't know what you would call it. There's a few planes in the inventory now, in everybody's inventory, that feature this. I think almost all of us have something. OAE has true canards. Powerhouse, I think you've got one or two that have used canards. We've all had one or two. Currently, though, like something like this is what I'm talking about, though, where you have like a canard-style wing, but it's directly on top of or below the wing itself. So it is not really a true canard. But I don't know what a pre-wing? Not a bi-wing because it's not as big as the other one. I don't know. But in any case, in Banshee here, in this particular Banshee, I think it's affecting a flight too much. I don't really know like how it's... I mean, Banshee was never going to be the star in a distance show, but I know what to expect of it, so I know that when I throw it, it goes straight out and flutters to the ground. That ain't right. That ain't right. Okay, now it's doing a little bit more Banshee-like things. It's just doing it so short I can't tell what the freak is going on. I do know this much. This one's really going to have to be taken outside. Because this one is... Sorry, I'm kind of like flittering out. I'm test flying as you're going, so... I want to keep it a paper airplane show. I'm trying to make... You know, you're involved in the test flight, so you hear me flying away with it, seeing what it's like. It is more Banshee-like right now, so I think I've found it. So it must have been... It must have been the pre-wing. I'm going to call it a pre-wing, for lack of a better term. If you guys know, you're welcome to tell me what you consider it, or if you know what it's called, if it's called anything. But I'm calling it a pre-wing. So, and I know some of y'all put it like NASA showed us Dagger, and if you've seen KIA's Sabertooth, they've both got something similar to that on the bottom, and I've put it on the bottom of a couple planes. You may want to call it a subwing. I don't know. It could just be a... I don't know. I'm calling it a pre-wing for now. So there's some tech. Mine gets built in. The other ones I've seen get built in. If it's an add-on, why would you add on right there? You'd have a canard. Anyway, screw it. You know, whatever. It's a pre-wing. And Banshee's back to normal. So this is what I'm flying. Now, how to fly? A lot of y'all are just like, I'm sure you're like thinking about that, looking at it, going like, what the hell are you talking about? How to fly? We know how to fly. What in the crap is that? Yeah. Only with that is just like how you throw it, and how you throw it. Now, you've heard us talk about the trainers in IVPAC, and again, I like to reiterate, you don't need a trainer, obviously. It's not recommended. It's not even required. It's like one of our expanded roles. It's just something cool to have, I think. And basically, like I said, it's a couple of us have been in the past where like your 5-year-old, 8-year-old, a friend, a relative might be with you and sees it and like, oh, Daddy, can I throw this? And I'll grab it like right here, crushing the wing. You don't want that to happen. You know that your plane is delicate and you know where it needs to be held, so hence you're training people how to throw it. So that's basically why we have trainers. It's like a lesser version of all the rest of your planes. Like, here, throw this one instead. It does just about as good. Basically the same thing. Looks a little cooler, it looks a little worse, but it'll teach you how to throw this one before you're ready to throw this one. You know what I mean? That's basically it. Anyway, the how to fly is like, again, how you throw it, you know, how hard, what direction. There's only 2 real keys to that. Is obviously you could throw 3 shades of hard. You could throw like kind of like light, which is nothing. It's just, you know, or like crank it all the way back and throw it. You can find that a lot of planes don't like that too much. You can find that you find that the planes don't like that too much, but you also find that planes don't like being like cranked too much or lightly tossed. It's usually a medium throw. I don't know about yours. Mine are like that. Almost all of mine can take a medium throw. Hardly any need a light throw except the transports. Sometimes the bombers, depending on the weight, the weapons they carry. This is why you have these trainers as well. But it also, the how-to is like throwing them into the wind versus with the wind, against the wind, even cross the wind. I mean, you've only got the 3 options anyway. It might depend on what kind of a nose-up attitude you throw it at. If this one's going to pull up a little bit much, you could just throw it straight on and it'll end up doing its pull up and flying the way it should. Some of them need a 45-degree angle, whatever the case may be. How do you fly yours? How do you fly? I mean, I know that's particular to the plane too. Like Banshee here, it really doesn't matter. I don't like throwing it at the ground too much because it just shortens the flight, but it'll take hardly anything and takes about the basic medium throw. And so does a Phase. And so does a Vampire. And so does a Nova. And all blah, blah, blah. I've got a lot of Novalins and everything. 332s. They all basically fly at the same kind of throw. Javelins only take the hard crank. And then Cirrus can take a light throw, but even Cirrus handles a medium. It's a light to medium. Wait, I said Cirrus. My bad. Cirrus a medium throw. Nimbus the transport, light to medium throw. The bigger they are, sometimes the lighter the throw they need, especially if they're going to haul their deadly cargo. So, just asking how. You could share with us, like, this plane likes, break it down if you want. Like, RR7 likes to be thrown. I mean, if you guys watch Powerhouse's videos, I've watched his videos, they all seem to like being held the exact same spot. Grab the wing. I can't do that. Like, God, okay, fine, I'll do it. So throw it right there and toss it. And I understand a flying wing kind of needs that because you don't have anything to grab a hold of. But I almost kind of want to work on that just as badly as I want to put those little hitches on there. So, yeah. Anyway, how you fly, what you fly. Yeah, that's what we're sticking with. Great, awesome. You know what it is. But anyway, guys, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out. This was the show for today. We're trying to get you the channel news. We're trying to ask you some questions and come along with me as I fix this Banshee that sucked balls. Banshee no longer sucks. Well, at least this one doesn't. But anyway, again, thanks for coming out today. Good to see y'all. Keep up with the channel. We'll make some more videos for you. They're coming up. They'll be a little bit more exciting than the typical past ones. Sorry, this one's a little bit shorter. It's actually not as short as I think or you think. This is probably going to be a standard. As long as we get the topics out, if there's something exciting, if there's not something exciting, we just got to make sure we get a show out for you out there. But in the meantime, you know how we do. Better yourselves. Better your planes.